I hope you guys liked the thumbnail because it took an insane amount of time to make that thumbnail. Just want to point that out. Just want to say that before I even start the video. So I'm going to recap the drama really fast for you. I'm actually going to 2x speed exactly what happened. So this is Doothi's statement.
Commentary YouTube is becoming slop. This video was taken down because I learned that large commentary creators had shared my video in their group chat and apparently got very upset about being criticized. As a small creator, this was obviously very intimidating. These people have a lot more money, connections, and followers than I do. I was asked to change my thumbnail. I was even asked by a featured commentary creator to unlist the video at only 3,000 views. I'm uploading this video that I spent 8 months on to implore you, the viewer, to watch this and form your own opinion. Was I too harsh, or are commentary YouTubers scared that people are waking up to slop content?
She made this video. Commentary is low-key bad at re-upload, nearing 1 million views. She has gained a great amount of subscribers, almost 100k. She's gained nearly double the amount of subscribers that she had prior, and that's what's going on there. I made a video about it. If you look up Doothi, I'm one of the videos that pop up about it, talking about the Doothi drama, and then I made another video right there. That's me talking about the allegations and things of that variety, because she accused a lot of big YouTubers of making a big huck up about it. She did that whole thing there. So, and then after that, she then proceeded to say nothing else. Basically nothing. A bunch of commentary YouTubers responded, and that's where we're at right now. And I want to talk about a few of those responses.
Purposeful misrepresentation of the facts. And Doothi knows it. She somewhat clarifies herself in a pinned comment, believes in the fact that she was fundamentally scared into compliance by this apparent group chat of rich and powerful commentators. The reality is that her original video was a collaboration with another YouTube commentary creator, Saji Sharma, who also promoted the video himself on his own YouTube channel and Instagram. Saji, who is a friend of Doothi, is also in a group chat with other commentary creators, some of whom were understandably taken aback by him participating in and promoting a YouTube video thumbnail depicting some of them and or their friends as clown marionettes whose strings, I guess, are being pulled by big commentary, with the words "shut up" above. I'm not in that group chat, by the way. I guess I don't have enough juice, you know, to get into the commentary Illuminati, but that's okay. But it's not an Illuminati. It's a group chat of people who are peers and friends. YouTube is a lonely job, and often creators reach out to other creators in order to make friends and just have people to talk to as their coworkers. I don't think that's a scandal, and despite this being a pretty insane thumbnail, not a single creator featured in this video or the thumbnail itself reached out to Doothi or told her to do anything. It was Saji himself who got cold feet at how harshly the final product was packaged and asked Doothi to take down the video and remove him from it, which she agreed to do. Saji, again, who is Doothi's friend and collaborator. No other creators reached out to her. She was not pressured by anyone else. Besides, again, some creators venting to each other in a private group chat, which, if people venting in a private group chat now is akin to intimidation, that's a very dark road to go down.
I'm going to talk about, this is my third video on this, about the commentary is bad thing. I was misled, and I feel like a lot of people were misled into believing that there's whole group of content creators that are in the commentary side that are basically trying to silence this one small creator, because that's very much how she portrayed it. And it turns out it's a lie. And somebody that commented in one of my videos told me to check out Mark because he's definitely going to talk about it or whatever it may be. And then even mention when the video was dropped, what was said and everything. I wanted to talk about this yesterday because I did see the video yesterday, but I didn't really have enough time.
YouTube is becoming slop. Not to be Jaden Smith on Maine, but oh my god, can we like talk about the political economic state of the world right now?
Well, not everybody wants to engage with politics all the time. It can be distressing.
It's called the viral Kendall Jenner tank top. The Kendall Jenner viral tank top. It's just a white Hanes tank top.
I noticed that the creator wasn't really saying anything of substance.
I don't understand. He's just being silly about a fucking tank top. Why are you shitting on this guy? I don't know. It's very condescending.
Now this creator is what I like to call the surface skimmer. They skim along the surface of the issue, almost like a glorified TikTok reaction channel with buzzwords and a condenser microphone.
When your niche is making fun of people? Wait, this is what you're criticizing. They got like one big hit and then they decided to fucking turn on every commentary YouTuber.
Low-hanging fruit doesn't take any bravery or nuance to criticize. Commentator will react to something clearly not made for them and pick it apart almost hyper-literally.
Is this like a joke? Are you making a joke video? That's what you're doing. This is like a Dunning-Kruger thing to me. You think you're so smart. We need to end this with a palate cleanser.
You guys didn't know, Doothi, she's a commentary channel and she made a video about how commentary is bad now. It's just a bunch of slop, a bunch of people just saying what they see, not really adding to a conversation, putting out content that is mindless, masquerading as intellectual conversation. And on the surface, I agree with her point. I don't know how many times I've clicked on a video where someone is reacting to like Abba and Preach speech, and all they're doing is agreeing with their points. They're not adding anything to it, basically just paraphrasing what they watch. They're not taking the conversation to a deeper level. They're not giving life examples that relate to it. Like, they're just not giving anything at all. I agree with her on that level. I also agree with the gentleman that responded to her because he was featured in the video. And honestly, I think the puppet and all that stuff, the editing was very cute. I loved it. I love the editing for the video. I think she did a really good job with that. However, I find it funny when people want to give smoke, but then they act like they're little babies that can't handle it. They can't handle the smoke, but they're so ready and willing to talk crazy about other people, to make claims about other people, to put thumbnails out there that are very aggressive towards other people, but then play the victim and act like they're just a little scared little baby. Oh my.
A lot of people are attacking Doothi, which is a little interesting. She gave very valid critiques, but this is very important. I just got to get these things out the way. Because of the stitch work and the set design of Doothi's video, it took her 8 months to say very shallow, basic level commentary about the fact that commentary YouTubers are react channels and a bunch of stuff, and she needs to have her voice out there. And she was very pretentious in her video, and I do acknowledge that, but she is still correct about a lot of commentary channels are just reactions bait. That's basically what it is. But here's what I'm going to do. There are no more clips in this video. As a matter of fact, all the clips you saw are completely gone. Now I'm just going to give actual commentary about how I feel about the space in totality. From Papa Guts clip that I showed you, from this person's clip, Sandra Faye's clips that I showed you, all this stuff. From me showing you Dorian, from me showing you Mark's thing, which you already talked about Mark's stuff. From me showing you all those clips, and me showing you Phil's 2.0, all the reaction stuff, bada bing, bada boom. It's interesting. All this is very interesting because in totality, commentary content is confusing, all this stuff. There have been so many videos made about the commentary space already. There have been already so many videos made. Is commentary bad? Boring Sib commentary channels 2 years ago. This topic has been done to death. I hate commentary channels. Commentary channels are worthless. We've already been here before. Go subscribe to Shepherd Boy, by the way. He's a great commentary creator. Shepherd Boy, Danky Jabbo is really great. But we've already been here before. We are saying the same things over and over again. And I would like to offer not a truly different perspective, but just my perspective on the situation, if that's okay. Can I do that? Just want to state this off the bat. I don't think Doothi is built for YouTube. I don't think she is a YouTuber. I think she is an analyst. I think she'd be better as a writer. I think she would be better writing books overall. I think that she is very entertaining. I think she is pretentious as well. I also think that spending 8 months, even if you did do the set design just to do all this stuff for 8 months, I think doing that and taking 8 months to do something is not very, I'd say, YouTube-esque, despite the fact that you are a creative and it may be your passion to voice your opinion out there. I think that you may be a fly on the wall, hidden in the dark kind of person, because YouTube has now demanded an infinite content mill because everybody wants to be a YouTuber. So unless someone finds you, or unless you incite drama such as this, no one was going to find you. If this was a manipulative tactic, then you are definitely built to be a YouTuber because you manipulated the masses. But I don't think this was done maliciously or in any capacity. She doesn't even say to attack the big content creators in any capacity. She says she took the video down by herself because of her own volition. That is what she did. She actively said that countless times in the video, and I think that's important. I also think that people should watch full videos before commenting on things, because people often go off their assumptions based on preconceived notions, which is a little bit stupid. So I think commentary is important, right? I think it's a full-blown medium of expression. People take the chaos of the world and carve it into something watchable, like very digestible for a lot of people. Something that is going to hit you while you're eating cereal at 2 p.m. wondering why your life is the very confines of a GTA loading screen. That's all you're doing. Commentary works because it adapts, it moves, it listens to the pulse of the audience, and then leans into it with intent. If you want to watch other TikToks of people and all this stuff and continually do that, commentary is going to do that. There's nothing shameful about that alignment. Art has always danced with the crowd, whether people admit it or not. Doing what works is not selling out. It is understanding the language of people who are already speaking and choosing to speak it fluently. The fluency turns random uploads into conversations that millions of people actually want to sit inside of. I think that all commentary channels are good, whether they're just reacting to something, Jarvis Johnson, whatever it may be, and you may feel a connection to that, because have you ever Have you ever watched a TikTok creator and it feels like you're on a FaceTime call, just listening to a story time or listening to somebody speak, and you get to give your critiques and commentary about that because it's a window into a life that you never got to experience, and you get to experience this beautiful life about somebody who you never thought you would actually get to see. That's the beauty to me of the internet, because every time I watch somebody's life story or somebody goes deep into something, I spend a lot of time learning about people's lives, whether it be through Tumblr posts or blog posts, or just people going outside and listening to homeless people speak about their day-to-day activities, how they go through dumpster diving, how they find clothes, how they have a gym membership so they can take showers, how they do things, how they go behind bakeries and eat the Dales. I love learning. I love learning about people, and you probably love learning about the weirdness and hilarity of life because you think that the spice of life may be insulting people or maybe just making fun of something, because we love insulting and making fun of things. Misery loves company, and company loves misery. That's what it is. We are all a self-eating byproduct of an Ouroboros that is continually regurgitating the same kind of content mill over and over again. I remembered when one of my favorite content creators tried to change up his content. He used to make a lot of Monster Hunter content, then he switched over to just video games in general. He lost 40% of his audience, and he never financially recovered from that. As a matter of fact, I got to speak to him. He is sitting at 700,000 subscribers at the current moment, but a lot of them are dead subscribers, and he actually deleted his YouTube channel because he couldn't keep up with it, and he didn't want to go back to playing Monster Hunter because he thought the series that he loved had died out. It was really depressing to witness, but he couldn't keep up with it. But people want the same thing over and over again. It's like when people insult, you know that guy, he dances, he says shark bite, big groove, that guy. He dances and people say, he keeps doing the same content over and over again. People love watching the same content over and over again. People like what's reliable, consistent. People enjoy things that they can rely on. They can actually look at it and say, I can rely on this content. This is exactly what I'm going to get from this content. It makes sense that people do that because we love repetition. We are creatures designed by habit. We're a creature of habit. We got to have it. That's how we operate as people. And that's a fair thing to do. We can learn to love something mundane. Through repetition and discipline, you can love to learn something. A lot of people ask me, how am I motivated to make all these videos every single day? How am I motivated to talk and sit in front of this camera? I'm not motivated to do this. I'm disciplined because I've trained my brain to get used to this boring mundanity over and over again. I've trained myself to be able to speak in succession without having too many repeats or hiccups. That is the essence of what it takes to be a YouTuber. That is the essence of what it takes to have a job. That is what it takes to be traditionally disciplined in a practice and be a master of that field. When you watch somebody do something over and over again, that it becomes like clockwork and time just begins to pass them by because they're so used to doing something. That's the beauty of this commentary, because they're used to reacting, used to saying the same critiques, they're used to saying this is bad, they're used to the same cookie cutter responses. That's what it is, and people love that. Yeah, obviously this bad thing is bad, this is fair, and I do think Doothi had very good critiques. I am not saying Doothi had bad critiques. I'm saying it's the same thing over and over again. And people are always saying, well, it's a meta-commentary on meta-commentary on meta-commentary. And it's a commentary on the commentary. It's a commentary on commentary. And right now we're a bit at war. Everybody's having these different opinions on things. And this is the most hype it's been in the commentary space in quite some time. Because it isn't about insulting other people. It's a critique inward. And people are getting really upset about it. Really, really upset about it. I think it's funny to watch people get wildly upset about very valid critiques about people. It is so interesting and insightful to the human psyche to see what people think about themselves and how different people think they are from the common slop that they consume and they put out to everybody. Because if we're being so bold here, if I could be so bluntly and blatantly honest, it's not really that different. Right? We are all making the same kind of content. We're all doing the same thing. Everybody's talking about this big hoopla with Doothi, and Doothi is probably not going to make a response video, and that's completely fair of Doothi to do so. Doothi does not have to make a response video about any of this. She doesn't have to talk to us. She doesn't have to tell us her intent. She doesn't have to release the group chat. She doesn't have to be in this constant drabble of just nonsense. She doesn't have to do that. She doesn't have to. And I think that is very powerful. There is always going to be this strange moral panic around the idea of pleasing the masses. Well, we got to make sure they stay informed intellectually. We got to make sure they do that. And I want to say this as somebody who has tried to inform the masses for the better part of 2 years. Every time I try to make a deeply insightful video, every time I try my best to speak about something that is very important that people should know, it does horrible analytics wise. And the 2,000 people that watch those videos, they say, this is very insightful, you're a great content creator, hidden gem, this is amazing. And I do respect all those people. However, when I make a video about some garbage slop, when I make a video about some nonsense and just kind of insult the person in the video, oh, it does numbers. It's hitting crazy. It's hitting like crack in the 80s. Oh, it's nuts in the black community specifically. Oh my goodness, Reaganomics, Richard Nixon, it's crazy. That's what it is. Reaching people somehow dilutes the soul of what is said. That's what people think, because you had casted a wider net. Oh, you've ruined it. You've hit so many people. You sold out. You sold your soul. You've given it to Satan up ahead. He's destroyed what made you original and authentic. Oh, this is bad. Incorrect, dumbass. It hasn't destroyed what's made me authentic. Popularity doesn't automatically erase sincerity. You know what happens? That idea collapses the moment you actually watch what people engage with. People crave sharpness. People like edits. People like cuts. People enjoy that. People crave someone willing to say the thing out loud and then push it further than comfort allows. That's beautiful. Commentary thrives in that tension because it gives permission to dissect, to criticize, to laugh at something while still acknowledging the weight behind that thing. You can tear something apart piece by piece and still be participating in a form of appreciation. Attention itself is a kind of currency that says this mattered enough to be examined, not dismissed, not ignored, examined. The examination itself is the respect. The crowd feels that respect even when the tone is brutal. And that's, to me, the beauty of it. I think that's the loveliness of what critiques it happens, because to critique somebody for saying something, just saying what people are scared to say. Imagine this, if you will, for one moment. Let's say, oh look, it's raining outside. Everyone can see it's raining, but I'm the one who said it. Everybody was thinking it, but I'm the one who said it. And then everybody agrees and we get communication, and then people listen to me to state the obvious. Is stating the obvious so bad? Whoa, you have good hair. Wow, I really appreciate your smell. Whoa, you're tall. How's the weather up there? Is it so bad to state the obvious? Is that a horrifying thing to do? Are we getting lambasted and destroyed for stating things that everybody should know? I think common sense is not too common. I remember I was outside for 10 minutes and didn't know it was raining ever so slightly, sprinkling, and then one guy said, you must have a built-in umbrella with that hair. And I said, well, yeah, I suppose so. Is it raining? He said, you couldn't even tell, could you? I touched the top of my head and realized it was raining. He stated the obvious about something I didn't know, because common sense isn't too common, and I respect that. I love that. It's beautiful. There is this yin-yang balancing act with all audiences. Audiences love the destruction as much as they love the creation. It is so human watching an idea get challenged until it either breaks or reveals something stronger underneath. Commentary is not clean. It is not meant to be. It isn't meant to be loud and sometimes messy and sometimes wrong in a way that invites correction. And that's what Doothi did in her video. And I gotta respect that. The constant friction, that same constant friction keeps the medium alive. Instead of turning it into a museum of safe opinions, I think this is amazing to have. People show up for the energy, for the confidence, for the willingness to stand on the point, even if they are wildly incorrect. And I like that. And that is such a fun energy, that kind of ego trip that it takes to be a commentary YouTuber. Hell, the ego trip that it takes to be a YouTuber in general, to say that I am a monolith here. I am the greatest and people watch me because I'm me. I think the greatest people to make content are probably some of the worst peoples in private. Right? I think that is a statement that exists in perpetuity. Now, a lot of people will say, well, my favorite content creator isn't a bad person. That's fine. That's completely fair. You don't know your favorite content creator. I actively tell you I'm a bad person and people don't believe me. I continually say that I'm a piece of garbage and people say, yeah, but you tell us though. You tell us you're a bad person and you're trying to grow. I am trying to grow. I'm still a bad person. I still have horrible, evil thoughts. I still have thoughts that are evil and messed up and wicked and wacky and wild and vitriolic and berate people inside of my mind all the time. And you know what I do with all those thoughts? I tell them to people immediately. I immediately tell people how I feel about them immediately. I don't care about what people say. I just immediately do that. It's beautiful. It's that confidence to have that. See, commentary is crafted with awareness of what actually resonates. The craft is invisible when it works. The craft becomes visible when it fails. Failure is also valuable. Failure teaches the audience what does not work. That's beautiful. So if you see somebody trying something new and it fails, well, the audience hates it. and that's okay. The medium learns from its mistakes in real time. No committee, no focus group, just a raw feedback loop of upload and response. And when somebody makes something new, when somebody makes a different thing, when somebody makes a different medium of creation, it's going to be outstanding and beautiful, and people are going to copy that as well. Because when Moist Critical ended up making those vague posting ass titles, when he started vague posting on main and everybody went crazy about his vague posting, everybody said this is the future of commentary. This is the future of all commentary collectively. This right here is going to be the greatest in commentary space because he's vague posting and it's amazing. If you don't understand what I mean by Moist Critical vague posting, look at any of Penguin Zero's titles and they're basically forcing you to click on them because it says this guy did something bad, this man did something horrible, this man is a piece of garbage. Is basically what it is. And now we've entered the vague post era. It is fun. And then I gotta state this as an aside because this is completely different than maybe the basis of this video, but I feel like it's important to bring it up right now. What is bad with hypocrisy? Right? Because people are commenting and saying Doothi made a commentary video about commentary creators. She's basically doing the same thing that other commentary creators do. She's doing the same thing. She is different because she's giving insightful analysis about the commentary she's critiquing. She is deeping diver. She is diving deeper into it. Hypocrisy isn't bad, right? This word, right? People throw around like it's the ultimate disqualifier. The moment someone contradicts themselves, they lose the right to speak entirely. I am so confused by this because it's such an emotional reaction rather than a logical reaction. People hate hypocrites because it feels like a betrayal to them. Consistency is tied to trust. When someone says one thing and does another, it creates a fracture that makes everything they say feel unstable. It triggers an instinct. You know what that instinct says about people, and this is very important in psychology. It says the person is not grounded. This person shifts depending on convenience. No one wants to feel like they're listening to someone who bends with the wind just to protect themselves. I think that instinct is not wrong. I think your instinct to do that is not wrong. However, it's not the whole story. Because, oh my God, hypocrisy is important. See, there is this, I can only describe it as a deep cultural obsession with authenticity. It demands perfect alignment between words and actions, as if humans are capable of maintaining a single unchanging position across every stage of life. That expectation is so unrealistic. Because we value the term hypocrisy so much, we don't allow growth. You see, and I've discovered this whole thing, right? That expectation is setting everyone up to fail. Growth requires contradiction. Learning requires movements and moments where your past self would disagree with your present self. That is called growth. That's important. Hypocrisy is that, right? So say you have somebody who's done drugs their entire life. Oh, they've smoked weed and stuff of that variety. And they could be smoking weed right in front of your face, right? And then they say it's actually very unhealthy to smoke weed. Science has proven that smoking weed actually destroys your lungs, and putting smoke into your lungs actually destroys you. And then they hit a puff of their joint. And you say, well, you're a hypocrite because you're smoking weed. Why do you think it's bad if you're doing it? Well, that's because I know it's bad and still doing it doesn't mean it changes my point at all. It doesn't. If someone told me that going to war is horrifying and evil and they have a purple heart, I would trust that person. But you were in war. Yes, I know how bad the reality of war is. I understand how evil and disgusting and vitriolic the war is. I grasp it. I know that. That is growth. That's what it takes. It takes somebody contradicting, and every decision you make, you may not realize it, or at least 90% of the decisions you make are built upon that contradictory notion, because every single response on this earth starts off as emotional, and then it starts off logical, right? You may not believe that, but everything you believe, every decision you ever made, it starts off emotional. Whether you believe that vanilla is the best ice cream, it is your emotional dependency on that nostalgia of vanilla, or it is your own preference, and then you logically conclude, well, everybody likes vanilla. Vanilla's offered at every ice cream place, so naturally everyone must like it. Or chocolate is the best. Well, people say chocolate is the candy of love. It's the flavor of love in Latin, and we got cacao beans, and you try to justify that emotional response with logic. That is how people operate, right? because we're all emotional creatures, men, women, non-binary people, whatever you may have, whatever fourth thing or fifth thing that I'm not including, all that agender, all that jazz, you are emotional. And then you justify every single thing after that with the logic behind it. So when Doothi made this video, enjoy my cat in the background, when Doothi made this video, she had an emotional response because she craved something that she wanted from content creators. She saw content that she didn't find enjoyable, right? She said, these content creators are not making the content that I want. I think that this is an issue because so many people are watching them and it is making people less intelligent. So she put her own personal perception of reality onto the world. She did the common mistake that most humans do, and I do this mistake as well. I've tried to rectify this mistake, but the mistake is simply this. We judge ourselves by our intents and everybody else by their actions. Understand what I mean by this. We judge ourselves by how we will respond in a situation and how we think. Well, the reason I didn't clean my room is because I'm waiting to clean my room until it gets really bad, but it's fine right now. I know where everything is and I don't have the time. If somebody saw that, they would judge you by your action. You haven't cleaned your room, that's why you're sad. But your intent of not cleaning your room is that it's not that bad yet, it's been worse. So you judge yourself by your intent. But if you saw someone else with a not a clean room, you would say, okay, they're not cleaning the room and that's why they're sad. But you're judging yourself by your own intent, right? And this is where hypocrisy, because you're a hypocrite. You would be a hypocrite in that situation, right? It's so unrealistic to do that. That is what it is. Someone has experienced something. They are now trying to warn others about it. That's what hypocrisy is. I think the discomfort people feel when they hear people be hypocrites is real. The conclusion they draw from it is rushed. They see the inconsistency and they stop there. They do not ask whether the inconsistency came from learning or from cowardice. Those two things look similar from the outside. That's important. Like the idea that hypocrisy automatically invalidates a message, ignores the value of lived experience overall. Lived experience is often messy, inconsistent, and filled with decisions that do not align with what someone later believes. Someone who has done drugs telling you to not do drugs carries weight. That is a purely theoretical warning. Like that's crazy. That's important. That's very important. And that weight comes from consequence, from memory, from something that has already been tested in the real world. And it is not a lack of integrity. Oh, you lack integrity, so I can't trust you. You can trust people who lack integrity. You are aware that you can do that? You are allowed to trust people who change their opinion because you are allowed to change your opinion. That is a form of integrity built from surviving something and deciding it is not worth repeating. But some people will say smoking cigarettes is bad and still smoke cigarettes. Guess what? That's also a fair thing to say. That is fair. The person who had never made the mistake can only describe the mistake from the outside. The person who made the mistake can describe the texture of it, the shape of it, the cost of it. The texture is what reaches people. The texture is what changes behavior. The most important moment in my entire life was visiting a prison, right? I was a Crip when I was younger, right? I grew up and I was gangbanging, doing all that stuff. I was stealing copper from houses. I was doing a bunch of nasty stuff, right? What really changed me, what really helped me out was witnessing the people that did what I did and them saying, hey, I did everything you did and I would still do it. Don't be like me. But you would still do it. There must be a reason you still would do it. And they would say, because I'm broken. Because I'm broken. I am broken and I don't want to shake my broken into you. That would be disingenuous. And that is important. That is a very important lesson. Hating hypocrisy in a blanket sense ends up silencing some of the most useful voices. It demands perfection from people trying to communicate lessons learned through imperfection. The demand strips away nuance in favor of a clean but unrealistic, horribly unrealistic standard of living. People become so focused on catching contradictions that they stop listening to the substance of what is being said. The entire point of communication collapses into a game of gotcha. I gotcha. Because you're making a commentary video about commentary and you're doing a commentary thing and you're a hypocrite because Doothi made the video about the thing, and that is bad. And the game feeds the ego more than understanding. And the irony is so thick. The same people who reject hypocrites often hold contradictory beliefs themselves without noticing. The noticing requires self-reflection. And I am self-reflecting and understanding that this whole commentary game, all this, there are some people in the commentary space who make $10,000 a month for making videos. They make $10,000 a month for making videos every week, right? They spend a week researching a bunch of other TikTok clips, put a TikTok clip here, a TikTok clip there, and they make $10,000 a month. You know how much I make from YouTube every month? I make consistently $2,800 a month. Now, I split half rent with my wife, so I pay $900 a month of rent, basically $910, and then in total, with my phone bill being $100, with my gas and electric bill being wildly high right now because of the war and Iran going on right now, and because of all that, I end up paying about somewhere around $1,500, not including groceries or gas for my car. So at most, I'm paying like $2,000 a month, and I can save about $800 a month. I don't have any brand deals. I don't have anything like that. I don't have anything of that variety. Sometimes I'll feel really nice and I'll help out a homeless person with a GoFundMe. I'll make a whole GoFundMe for a homeless person just because I don't want them to go through the same thing I'm going through. And I'll spend all my time, all my free time invested into doing that. This is a full-time job for me with very base rate pay. That is what I'm doing with my life. I make like $22,000 a year based on YouTube metrics, and that's my life. This money is important. And if I had to shill out, if I had to show my bunghole just to get some money, I would do that for victory in this lifetime. I would be hated just to be financially secure. And if that's what it takes, if it takes reacting to AI Fruit Love Island videos and having surface level commentary just to make fun of somebody, I understand why they would do that. I grasp it because people like that. People love it and they found something that works. And when you find something that works, you don't just give it up. I think there is a difference though, and this is back to hypocrisy for a moment, between malicious contradiction and evolved perspective. Those are two different things. Commentary as a medium lives right in between the space of malicious contradiction and evolved perspective. People are constantly refining what they think in public, sometimes clumsily, sometimes loudly, sometimes in a way that sparks backlash. When you were 18, you believed this, but you're 30 and you change your mind? Are you a dumbass? Are you stupid? Are you an idiot? Huh? You can't change your mind about anything. No, you are just thinking that people stay the same. Do you stay the same? Do you think that only fictional characters can grow? Well, yeah, because the author shows their growth and I get to see it. I get to be with their journey. I get to be with them. People can grow too. The process is so important. You got to engage with it, to challenge it, to push it further. Ideas sharpen over time through this process. And Doothi making this video hopefully sets a higher bar for people to make more deeper commentary. Stagnation happens when people are afraid to be seen changing their minds. The fear of being called a hypocrite keeps people locked into old positions long after these positions have stopped making sense to them. When I made my first video about this entire situation, everybody said, "Good job, man. Proud of you for sticking up to Doothi." New information came out a day later, and I made a video correcting myself. A lot of comments said, "Wow, you just did a 180 that fast? Hypocrite much?" No shit. Obviously, I'm a hypocrite. I'm not scared of being a hypocrite. You fear this whole thing, and that fear is such a cage. The cage is made up of all you guys, the audience. The key is held by the person who decides they would rather be honest than consistent, right? I would much rather be honest with myself, because guess what my job is? Giving my opinions. That's my whole job. My whole job is to give my opinions about a situation. If I am wrong about a specific thing and it's not an opinion piece and it's me just blatantly being wrong about something, then I would 100% change that. Obviously, the medium needs people willing to say, "I used to think that, I was wrong, here's what I think now." That is such a rare sentence in people. It is so rare to see that. And that sentence is so powerful. That sentence also invites attacks from people who will clip the first half and ignore the second, because that's what people did to me. Those attacks are so predictable for me. They're also survivable. I'm sure I'm going to survive this. The person who survives them, if it happens to you, and keeps talking, is doing something important. They're modeling what learning looks like in public. They're showing what change is possible without punishment. That showing is a gift to everyone watching who feels trapped in their own past statements. I'm sure there are so many people watching my video that are on SSRIs, or that have something undiagnosed, or that maybe got a diagnosis in TikTok and now align themselves with those things that they probably believe that in their whole chest and mind, or they feel bad about something they did in the past. They feel horrible about that. They say, man, I was such a bad person before. Oh my goodness, I don't deserve anything good in this lifetime. Oh, you do deserve good things in this lifetime because you deserve to grow. Everybody deserves that. And I think commentary should be a place where people say things that hit for those people, where they adjust when they learn, where they contradict themselves and then keep talking anyway. Silence does not create clarity. Silence will only create permission for the loudest voice to define reality. The loudest voice is not always the wisest. The wisest voice is often the one who has been wrong before and knows what wrong feels like. The voice overall has maps of the territory that the perpetually correct will never possess. I'm not perpetually correct. I'm wrong a lot of the time. I am wrong like 90% of the time on this channel, and I continue to grow and evolve, and hopefully one day I'll become wise enough to do that. Let people make content that reaches others without trading and treating success like a moral failure. Let people who have lived through mistakes speak on them without being dismissed for not being perfect the first time around. The internet is loud because humans are loud. Somewhere inside that noise is a constant attempt to understand, to warn, to entertain, and to connect, even when it comes out imperfect, especially when it comes out imperfect. The perfectionists are not creating anything. You know what they're doing? They're waiting for permission from people. The people making commentary already gave themselves permission. That is why they have something to say. That is why anyone is listening to commentary channels. This morning I woke up at 7 o'clock. I went outside in my front yard and I let ants crawl on my hand and I guided them to the honey that I had placed. Now a few ants got trapped and I tried to get them out of the honey trap and I gave them a little bit of water and I made sure they were fine and made sure they didn't drown. I did this for an hour and 12 minutes. Why did I do that? No reason. I don't know. I was bored. Or maybe I was having fun. I just wanted to have fun, right? And I think people forget that you can just enjoy being pleased with nothing. Joy is just there. I think there's this idea that you have to justify a lot of your joy about a lot of things you watch or you do or you consume. What benefit does this provide you? Why are you playing the game if you're not streaming it? You're allowed to like things so full, so unapologetic. That enjoyment does not need to survive a deep analysis from someone to remain valid. Explain how this is benefiting you in the full confines of your life. Explain how this actually benefits you as an adult. You're a grown man. You're 30. Why are you enjoying slides? You shouldn't enjoy swings when you're 45 years old. You can enjoy whatever you want to. That is so fair. The act of liking something is already complete on its own. Wanna know why? Because it's meaningful. It's yours. No one gets to retroactively downgrade your experience because they bought a microphone and has a very critical tone about it. I watched this video. Oh my god, Lily Orchard's Steven Universe critique. Everybody was saying, well, Steven Universe sucks now. No, Steven Universe sucks for a lot of reasons, but it's not any of the reasons this person listed at all. Lily Orchard is completely wrong about Steven Universe sucking. I just want to point that out. Steven Universe sucks for a lot of other reasons, but it's not that. Steven Universe to me is a beautiful, beautiful woke slop story. I think it's complete woke slop, and I love it indefinitely. I'm eating that slop always, and I love it. I think the microphone, you see that person with a microphone, and you say, oh, he has a microphone. He's talking. Oh, he's got reach. He has a big number. It doesn't mean I'm telling the truth. Truth is true to you. What is true to you matters. I cannot live your reality for you. That is so important to live your own reality. I think there's this creeping fear that once someone makes a deep dive, a big deep dive about something you love, you think, oh no, I can no longer enjoy this thing in public again. Oh my god. This is the worst experience of my life. People said Five Nights at Freddy's is actually for children, but I love Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm not ever hating on Five Nights at Freddy's unless it's critiques I'm given to show how much I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I hate the Pizzaplex, and I will die on that hill, but I love FNAF overall. It's great. Your enjoyment does not become contaminated when some random motherfucker on the internet says, oh, well, I don't cuss a lot. Jesus Christ, I do not cuss a lot. I did not. Saying motherfucker felt strange. Anyways, if some random guy on the internet just says, yeah, actually, did you know that there's logical inconsistencies with this entire thing? The power scaling in this show is horrible. As a matter of fact, this doesn't make any sense. Who cares? I don't care. Who gives it? I'm having a fun time with the show. Insight becomes a spill that will ruin the carpet of your emotions is the best way I can describe it. My brother said that to me, and I think that's important because he enjoys Tyler Perry movies, and I was trying to tell him that Tyler Perry sucks, and he said, man, your insight is like a spill, man, that is ruining the carpet of my emotions. And I think that's a cool way to phrase it. I'm just using his terms. I want to give him credit for that because he's the one who said that, and I'm only as wise as smartest person I ever talked to. But people start questioning themselves, right? They'll be mid-laughter or mid-smile, mid-memory, mid-jump for joy, mid-bust, and they'll say, oh, man, I don't know. I gotta defend why I like this thing. You don't have to. Realistically, you don't really have to do that. You don't have to defend it. I know some people that still listen to R. Kelly Trapped in the Closet, and they say, well, I can't enjoy this because R. Kelly's a bad person. Do you enjoy Trapped in the Closet? Yeah, but... you know, I just think I can't enjoy it. I think if you can enjoy anything you want to, I don't care. Who are you? Why are you feeling bad about enjoying this? I gotta protect my reputation. Just don't tell anybody. Just don't tell anybody. I don't know why you feel the need or compelled to tell anybody about why you enjoy this or if you enjoy something. There's no need to do that. If you enjoy, I mean this with my whole chest, by the way. If you are somebody, because there are millions of views on these videos. If you're somebody that enjoys AI fruit ASMR, I'm not judging you. But it's AI, and AI is bad. AI is bad. AI is actively destroying the environment, and the data centers are destroying all the water, but you don't understand how the data centers are enjoying the water. You haven't done your research, have you? I can explain to you in full detail how the data centers are destroying clean water and making electricity costs go up crazy for small places in rural areas, and it's actually a tactic of racism to have AI data centers in predominantly black areas. I could do that, but you don't care about that, do you? If you don't care, don't act like you do just to feign being a good person. You can just be a piece of garbage. It's okay. I'm telling you that it's completely fine to just be a piece of garbage because I don't know you. I don't know who you are. You can just be a piece of trash. You can plant trees whose shade you will know the comfort of. You can plant instant trees. You can enjoy DoorDash. You can go to McDonald's for all I care. You can support the IDF. Never really. Why would I care? Right? You're not an activist. It doesn't matter to me. I could try to convince you, but if it doesn't work and you just genuinely don't care, you don't have to feign activism. You don't have to do that. Unless you genuinely want to be an activist, I'm not going to force you to do what I do. You don't have to follow on my footsteps. Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense to me. You can enjoy and do as you please. It's your life. I'm not going to try to have everybody have the same mindset as me because that would create a very boring world with no friction. And I love conflict. I am a man who loves problems. I exist to create problems. That's my entire life. I think that's fair. And before people start commenting on my eyes saying I look tired, I'm putting my glasses back on. I think it's very important that there is a strange way to live inside of your own mind, right? A breakdown is just one perspective. It's a lens held up by someone else. You are not obligated to replace your eyes with theirs just because they spoke confidently. Confidence is not correctness. Confidence is delivery. That's it. Those two things are not married. They can divorce at any time. The video does not own your past. The video does not own your future. The video is a guest in your attention. Guests leave, but you stay. It's a big issue why people say, well, Trump sounds so confident when he speaks. He must be correct. No, asshat. You can have confidence in everything you say. It doesn't matter. You have the right to enjoy anything that resonates with you, even if it's flawed, even if it's messy, even if someone else can list 10 reasons why it should not work. Enjoyment is not a debate you have to win. It is a moment you get to feel. That's my issue with a lot of, I say, Doothi's critiques about the video in totality. It's just you get to do that, and those moments stack into something that actually shapes your life in a real way, right? A life of moments is a life of meaning. People say, oh man, I gotta find meaning in my life. Do you have moments in your life? Yeah, then you have meaning. That's it. But what does my life mean? Your life means whatever it means to you. There are hundreds of millions of people who I will never meet, who have done spectacular and amazing things, who have shaped so many lives, who have moved mountains, who have done great things, who have changed lives forever, who have allowed people to live when they have lost theirs. There are people that have done amazing things who I will never meet. 500 people just died while I recorded this video, and I'm never going to know those people. I'm not going to feel sad about it either. You are building the most efficient playlist of opinions, right? Whenever you do that, right? And I want to point this out. A life of winning debates is just going to be a life you're going to be exhausted. And people act like taste is supposed to be optimized. My taste is not efficient at all. It is not efficient in any. I have so many worthless nonsense opinions that don't make any sense. I'm gonna list a bunch of my opinions. That's what I'm gonna do. I think the best pizza topping is mayonnaise. I think dogs were an overall mistake. I think cats are the only pet you need. I think sleeping less than 4 hours a night is a superpower and not a deep health crisis. Water has a flavor, and anyone who says anything else is lying. Jeans should be worn exclusively inside the house and never in public. The floor is a perfectly acceptable place to store clean laundry. Reading is overrated. I think audiobooks are a more efficient way to consume literature, and you can watch them at 3 times speed and you can get books done efficiently. That's how I feel. Sunrises are objectively better than sunsets, and anyone who disagrees has bad taste. Sneezing is a public disturbance and should be fined accordingly. Toast is better cold than warm. I mean, after you make the toast and then you have it cold, it's just better to me. That's how I feel. The concept of bedtime is stupid. I don't know why they even thought that. Socks with sandals is not acceptable. It's not acceptable at all. I don't know what you're doing, but I think if you do wear socks with sandals, you're braver than me. Breakfast foods should only be eaten after 6 p.m. All movies should be exactly 90 minutes long, no exceptions. Handshakes are a weird power play, and we should replace them with silent nods. Ice cream is better after it's melted slightly and been refrozen into a weird block. I think that's better. The sound of nails on a chalkboard to me is actually relaxing. Driving under the speed limit is a more dangerous crime than speeding, I think, because if I'm following the speed limit, I'm gonna crash into you. Books with blank pages are the funniest form of literature ever. I think that's hilarious. I think we should have more books like that. Cilantro sucks. I don't know what to tell you. All music should be performed exclusively on kazoos. Waking up at 5 a.m. is a personality flaw. I don't know what your problem is. The smell of gasoline is a better breakfast than coffee, I think. I think the smell of gasoline is just better. Clapping after a movie in an empty theater is amazing. I love doing that, especially for a movie that nobody saw. Plants have feelings and we should apologize to them before watering because we're destroying the circadian rhythm. The square is a superior shape to the circle in every way, and I'm not going to justify that. I think silence is louder than any sound ever recorded. Pineapple on pizza is pretty good. I think people can agree with that. Elevators are just kind of slow rooms, and I don't like that. I don't like elevators at all. They're slow rooms that move, and that's kind of unsettling. The best way to eat a banana is through the peel like an apple. I like eating banana peels. Spoilers make movies better because anticipation sucks. I think that sucks. I think walking backwards is cool and efficient, and it helps out your body. The color beige has more personality to me than the color neon pink. I think hats suck. All hats suck. Cereal is a soup and milk is the broth. All chairs should be replaced with exercise balls to help out your back. Talking to yourself is probably the most honest conversation you may have with anybody because you don't trust anyone, and I think that's fair. The moon landing was real, but the footage was filmed in a basement for dramatic lighting, but I think we did land on the moon. Clouds are too heavy. I don't know what's going on with that. I think glitter should be illegal. I think all forms of glitter should be illegal. I think that's a form of emotional warfare. The best time to take a shower is 3 a.m. in the dark. I think that's the best time to take a shower. Popcorn is only good for the smell. I think actually eating popcorn is really disappointing and it gets into my teeth too much. All fonts should be replaced with Comic Sans for 1 year to reset society. I think left-handed people should run the world. I think ambidextrous people are bisexual all the time. The appendix has a purpose. I think we're just not smart enough to figure it out. I think stairs are just weak escalators. Yawning is a psychic signal that travels through walls, I think. I think the word moist is only offensive because people are afraid of the truth. I think shadows are actually portals to alternate dimensions, and that's maybe my schizoaffective acting up, but that's how I feel. Toilet paper should be hung under and not over. I think that's how it should under. I think that's goofy because I'm pulling down because I'm already grimacing at the fact of it is. I think you should probably try cereal with water if you've never tried it. I did it when I was broke and I almost can't stop now. All clocks should run backwards for 1 month out of the year just to see if people are paying attention. I think that's important. I also think the floor is lava is a prophecy and very disrespectful towards Pompeii in general. The best seat in the movie theater is the front row in the far left corner. Don't know really. I don't know. That's how I feel. French fries are better when they are slightly undercooked and floppy. Let's see. Knocking on wood is hacking reality. I think it actually works. All arguments should be settled with a silent staring contest. The sound of a vacuum cleaner is actually a white noise lullaby to me. That's how I feel. Let me think. The delete key is the most powerful button on the keyboard, and the number 7 is suspicious and I don't trust it. See, I have like a lot of opinions that, you know, I just have a lot of them. Want to point that out. When a video makes you question something you love, I think that moment is important to have. There's a value in hearing new angles and seeing something from a different side and letting your thoughts stretch a little. That process should never turn into a self-punishment. I think you are allowed to sit with new information and still choose joy, still choose attachment, still choose to keep what mattered to you before that whole 2-hour video showed up. I think the analysis does not erase the history you have with something. The analysis is this added footnote, and footnotes are always optional. You know, you still got the main text because pretty words are powerful, right? They move people in ways that are so convincing, right? Being moved is not the same as being right. It is okay to be influenced. It is okay to shift your thinking. The shift should come from a place that includes your own voice, not take away everything in your entire your life. I think there's a rhythm in this whole thing. A lot of people right now are attacking Doothi. I think that reaction says more about who they are in general. When what she did was force people to look inward, and that is rarely a comfortable experience. When someone holds up a mirror, even a sharp one, people tend to focus on the tone instead of the reflection. Because tone is easier to fight. When what you might see in yourself is really harder. Even if she came off harsh, even if the delivery had edges, even if she spent 8 months making a set for the video, the act of making people confront something inside themselves is very important. I think that weight that they have to carry is important. That's very important. I think there is something important about being challenged in many ways, because you have to be challenged about how you do things. Growth has to have challenge with it. It has to be a little abrasive. I think it has to be. Tension is often the things that makes the shift real right at that moment, right? I think the mirror that you hold up to yourself is not an enemy. The mirror is just a glass with a backing. What you see in it is not the mirror's fault. The mirror did not create your reflection, the mirror revealed it. The revealing can be uncomfortable. The discomfort is not the mirror's crime. The discomfort is the distance between who you thought you were and who you might be becoming. The distance is where growth happens. I think that's important. Enjoy what you enjoy. Protect the moments that made you feel alive. Let critique exist without letting it erase you. Your experience matters so much in so many ways because it is yours. That in itself is the most important thing of all time. Why would you let somebody else tell you how you feel? Why would you do that? They're not a therapist. They're some random smuck on the internet. That's me. I'm some random smuck on the internet. I don't want to tell you exactly how you feel. I want to give my perception. And if you agree with my perception, that's fine. That's okay. That is so important. That's real. Analysis cannot tell you how the room felt when you walked in. That feeling belongs to you. No video can take it. No takedown can avoid it. That's really important. No confident voice can overwrite your memory. The memory is encoded in your nervous system. The memory is not up for debate. So I say, let yourself think, let yourself change, let yourself stay the same where it feels right. Let yourself appreciate the people who push you to reflect, even if their tone is not soft. Soft is, you don't gotta be soft all the time, dude. You can be harsh sometimes. It's fair. Harsh can come from a place of wanting you to see something that you have been avoiding. I think the intention behind the tone matters ever so slightly. The intention is often hard to read online, hence why we have a lot of tone indicators a lot of the time. I think I like to assume good intention all the time. I like to assume that the person challenging you might be also trying to figure out why they hate it as well. And they might not have everything figured out. And neither does you. And neither does anyone. I think there's something powerful in this statement that I don't know is brave and I'll never know is heroic. You are allowed to hold things at once, the joy of what you love and the awareness that comes from looking at it differently. That balance is very important. I think that's really important. I really do. Anyways, thank you so much for checking out my video. I am going to probably get up out of here. But first, I'm actually going to ramble for like 10 minutes about a bunch of nothing because a few things have been bothering me. You can click on the video if you want to and give me your opinion about the Doothi drama. I chaptered the video to specifically do the nonsense rambling that I have at the end here. I just wanted to do nonsense rambling because I think it's important to get my thoughts out. Because I don't really have another video to put this into. So I just have a bunch of nonsense that I want to talk about right now if I could. Anybody ever feel like the insanity of regular life is getting kind of dull and normal and boring now? For instance, I've been reading a lot of Truth Social posts from Donald Trump, and I'm not surprised by a single one of them. I don't know why I'm not surprised by a single one of them. I think it's just par for the course. I think that a lot of people, especially nowadays, don't have the fight or willpower to cause a revolution or a civil war or do something. And a lot of the performative activism that I see is really agitating. And I feel like when I speak those sentences, people don't understand what I mean by performative activism. So I feel like I should explain what I mean by performative activism ever so slightly in order to get a good basis for what I'm saying. So let's say you want to, I don't know, get rights for blind people, right? And then you do a protest and say, oh, we're doing rights for blind people, but also this sucks. And also you should not eat at McDonald's. And also you shouldn't purchase cameras from Kodak. And also you shouldn't eat Oreos. And you have all these issues. And then you want to, say your terms and demands. And then we don't know what the terms and demands are. You can't do all things at once. So you got to focus on one issue at once because we're really focused on blind people. That's a big issue I have with a lot of the No Kings protests. It's really just a lot of blanket statements about general things that are bad. It gets people to choose which activism they wish to participate in, but it doesn't get any activism actually done. You're just choosing what you like out of a list of different activist things and stuff to put in your Instagram bio, basically. Black Lives Matter, Palestine, Free Congo, and you just say all the things without actually doing any legislative work to actually get the actual hard part actually done. And I think it stems from people just wanting to feel like they're doing some actual creative work or feel like they're actually participating in something amazing. And I think that stems from a lack of self-agency in your life. I think that may stem from that. I'm not quite sure where that stems from, but I think it's just the fun of being chaotic overall. But as I was reading all these Truth Social posts, and Trump is just kind of saying kind of whatever he feels like all the time. He's saying, you're a baby, you suck, I hate you, you're a bad person, I think that you are nasty, I think that he's calling people insults and nicknames, and I don't really care, right? Like, I don't know, but should I care about this stuff? Is that important to care about? I don't know. It feels as though this is just really par for the course at this point. It's just regular. Trump says something crazy, somebody comments on it, somebody makes a video about it, they get about $800 because they made that video, and then the next day they get another $800 because they made that video. It feels as though we're in this infinite cycle and perpetual loop of things are getting so bad that we don't know how to react to it, so we're just letting things get worse and worse and worse and worse, and then when it eventually gets so bad that we actually have to do something, we won't be prepared to actually do something because it's gotten so bad to the point where we've accepted it for so long, because we've been accepting it being really bad for a really, really long time. It has been horrible for a while, and I don't know how to feel about that. I don't want to make a separate video about this. I just want to get this quick thought out because I think we're entering a point of, I don't know. We're entering a point of collective American, it's just an American issue in totality. We're entering this point where I feel like something drastic has got to happen, man. Like, realistically, people are getting more radicalized, and whenever we do something radical, they say, look, it's just left violence. But it's genuinely that bad. Like you are people not understanding that it is genuinely that bad? I think people don't understand how horrifying it is. I made a post. I'm going to read the post. I made a post recently on my YouTube, and I like to read the post exactly as I said it. So, MAGA, you win. As I drive down my pothole-ridden streets and crumbling infrastructures to pump my $4.50 a gallon gas and head out of my city because I live in a food desert to the grocery store to pay almost double what I did a year ago, all while listening to the news about $25 billion spent on a war that bombs children's schools, and they need billions more to continue said war, while the dumbest human on earth wants his ballroom or he will cry, but not as much as he cries about Jimmy Kimmel, all while headed into a global economic collapse, no healthcare, cutting funding to the public schools, killing all U.S. citizens in the streets, locking up children in detention centers, and hell-bent on a blatantly racist agenda. You guys are right. We are winning. The future is bright. I said that satirically, and I kind of feel it though. I kind of feel that when I typed it out, I just kind of felt that overall. I felt that in general because it's how I feel. It's just how I feel about everything, man. My gas up the street. I live in the hood, by the way, so gas is cheaper here. It's $4.89. $4.89 for gas. That's crazy. Is that not nuts? Is that not psychotic in a small infantile way? That's crazy to me. $4.89 for gas is nuts. And in Michigan, in Detroit right now, the highest gas that I've seen is $6.59. I saw $6.59 gas today. That's bad. That's really bad. I don't know what to do about that at all. I really don't. I just don't know what to do about that. I feel trapped. I feel really, really trapped about that, but that's just me, I suppose. I guess that's really my feelings about the situation. Anyways, thank you guys so much for checking out my video. I'm sorry if I made you feel sad or depressed or anything like that, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at, and I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your Nick and night, be my Laurel, happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride when you